Hi there. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here today to do an episode of Favorites. This is a show I do every Wednesday night, in which I pick some topic that's either a 5 or a 10 or 15 or a 20, or maybe I rank something, maybe an album or maybe a song. But today we're going to do um, kind of a sequel to last week. So last week, for those of you who know or have watched it, know that I picked 5 albums that you didn't like, or people have said nasty things about, or crapped on, or dished on, or whatever you want to call it, that I actually loved. So we're going to do the reverse this week. So I'm going to pick, or I have picked 5 albums that I don't really like. In some cases, I hate, or I really don't like. I don't know. Hate is a pretty of a strong word. Hate would require me to like loathe them to the point where I'm paying attention to it. I don't really have anything like that. So, but there are some albums I really don't care for, or I've dished them in the past, or maybe I've dished them in the present, or maybe I've said something about the band or something. But and these are all going to be albums that you like. A lot of people love these albums and think they're fantastic and just think they're the best albums ever or whatever. But I just didn't like. So I guess the official title of this will be 5 albums I dished that you love. Okay. So, anyways, we've got 5. I'm going to kind of give them in an order of distaste. So we'll talk with the the first one. A little bit of an explanation. So the album is from Uriah Heep. It's Demons and Wizards. Um, I'm thinking that I'm thinking I don't necessarily dislike this album. I don't really hate it. There's nothing about it that makes me dislike it or anything like that. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I had this vision of it being my favorite of their albums, and then when it didn't live up to that, it kind of was a big disappointment to me. So I rarely go to it. I don't really listen to it. I know that some people are going to be upset with me for picking this album, but I thought it would be their best album only because it's the one that gets talked about as the prog one to go to. But I don't really care for this one too much. I don't really know what it is about it. The book is nice, and I love the album cover, of course. It's got a lot of information. This is one of the better books for the albums that I own. But for whatever reason, and I'm not really sure what it is, maybe it's just I haven't heard it right properly. So maybe I should put it on and play it a little bit more before I make that opinion about it. But as it sits right now, I just really don't care for it too much. So that's the first of my albums. Next one up, I've dished before in the past and have made it plain that I don't really care for it. And I've listened to it a lot over the years. And it's not that it's an imperfect album. There are some stuff. There is some stuff on here I don't mind. But we're talking about AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. First of all, I don't really like the cover. It's kind of really cheap. Doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe if I spent a little more time analyzing it, I'd figure it out. But I just can't be bothered. There's some really stupid tracks on this album too, like Big Balls. This I don't know. It was kind of funny when I first heard it, but I don't really care for it anymore. Squealer, another stupid song. It just has an overall feeling of being cheap, which it's done dirt cheap. So I guess maybe that's it. There isn't really much on here to like except for Problem Child, which I do like. That's the one track on here I like a lot. I wished it was on another album, but it's on here. So in order to listen to it, I have to play the whole album. I just can't be bothered because I just don't care for it. And I don't think that that's going to change. You never know, but um, and sometimes wonder why I have it. I guess it's because I like to collect everything, right? Anyways, AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. The next album up I can truly say that I do not like at all for one particular reason, and you'll know as soon as you see it. So this is an album that gets a lot of attention and is well loved by many people. Not me. Pawn Hearts. This is Pawn Hearts by Vandergraf Generator. I might even go as far as to say I don't really like the group either. I have a few of their albums, bought them based on what people said how good it was, and I just don't like it. And I don't know if it's the music. Can't really say it's the music because I don't get very far into it. I just can't stand the sound of Peter Hamill's voice. I would rather stick razor blades in my ear than listen to him sing. He, although I do have one album with him doing vocals that isn't a Vandergraf Generator album that I actually do like because I think they've put his voice in the context it needs to be put in. But this album, no thanks. I just can't listen to it because his voice is just too much for me. And I often wonder what the hell's going on here. Are they saluting him in some way that I shouldn't know about? I don't know. Yeah. Even the cover's a little bit odd. A little bit odd. Anyways, that's the band. That's the band, and well, this is the album I don't like. I have another one of theirs that I like a little bit more, but I wouldn't go far enough to say that I love it. But this one I don't like at all. Next up is an album that is kind of weird in this list because at one time I liked this album a lot. And then it gradually got less and less and less. And now I just absolutely can't stand it. And I don't know if it's the album. I suspect it isn't the album. I suspect it's just the band. I've just grown to, for a long, strongly distaste this band in all its forms. And I can't even stand looking at anything they have. And it's Guns N' Roses. I don't even know why I still have this album. So this is Appetite for Destruction. Um, Apparently there was 5 guys in this band, which surprised me. I thought there was only 4, but what do I know, right? And I'm not going to go and find out why there's 5 instead of 4, and I don't really care. I at one time did like some of the tracks on this album: Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City. Now, if I never hear another track by these guys again, it'll be too soon. This album I find distasteful in every shape that you could possibly think of. And I know that's going to bother some people, but frankly, I don't care. I'm not out here to bother you. I'm just here to dish this album. I know you love it. That's great. If you love it, fine. The group will be happy. I haven't even I've fixed the covers of almost every one of my albums that have cracks in them, but I left this one this way because I don't care. Okay, so that's 4 of them. Now we're gonna get on to the 5th one. The 5th one I distaste so much I don't even own it. I've never owned it. I've never liked it. And my disdain for it grew mightily over the years because it got played a lot and it's an absolutely loved album. Probably sold millions and millions of copies and on just about every channel that I watch where they do rock at some point at some point in time they talk about how great this album is. I just can't stand it. I would never buy it, and I don't want to hear a single track from it. And it's Bat Out of Hell from Meatloaf. I I initially, when I first seen the album, thought, kind of an interesting cover. And I think somebody had the album. I think my best friend might even have had it. He played it for me, and I just said, "No, that's not for me. I don't really care for that." And then I didn't think anything more of it. But then he played it a lot, and then I heard it on the radio a lot, and then everywhere I go, people were talking about it a lot. So I've grown to distaste it. It's probably the only album out there in the rock genre that I absolutely do not like at all. There's nothing about it I like. I'm sure there's other albums, but I've never owned them, and I don't think about them because they didn't have as big an impact as that one. So this is what generally happens in life. Something has a huge impact and you're subjected to it, but you didn't like it initially, you grow to hate it. It's kind of the same as if an album that you really love gets a lot of attention, you grow to love it more. Well, in this case, it's not going to happen. So, Bat Out of Hell, I don't like, and I know you do. So, anyways, I decided to do this episode as a kind of flip from last week's episodes, and I'll just repeat the albums in case people think I missed one. So, um, Demons and Wizards from Uriah Heep. That one could change. I have a feeling that may change someday. Next one up is AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Then Pawn Hearts from Vandergraf Generator. Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction. And then the final one, Bat Out of Hell from Loaf. So bad that I don't ever want to see the album cover again. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Really wasn't something I wanted to do, but I figured, you did one way, you got to kind of do it the other way too. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week on Frog Monster and favorites. Take care and goodbye.